What's up, guys? It's me, rayperez. I know it's been a long time since I made one of these videos, so I've got a lot of catching up to do. I guess I wanted to start off by saying thank you for watching the videos if you do. I hope that the information that I give on these videos can be helpful sometimes. Click on the star. If you don't watch them, then you won't even be watching this one. So I can just say thank you to everybody. I appreciate it. I guess today what I wanted to start off by saying was that the other night I was laying in bed and I started thinking about music and how it affects people, and the next day I got this awesome post on my wall by Margarita Cavazos, MC, a friend of mine, and I also read this awesome quote from Joseph Campbell, and it was all sort of interrelated, and I was having the thought before, which is going to go into some of our topics later, or all the main topic, but anyways, I was having these thoughts about how music affects people and what it does, and what I was coming up with in my head, the way I arranged it, the mental picture that I was making so that it made sense to me, was that musicians, just click yes. Click yes. The thought I had was that musicians, artists, writers, poets, singers, anybody that creates anything are like key makers. They make keys. I picture it as like designers, like people design. I remember there was this guy online that like called himself like Raw something, and he made these little keys. They were like dimensional keys. Like the guy actually constructed these little, looked like light bulbs with like some kind of crystals and metal in them, and he said, some alien or some god or something like contacted him and gave him the design, kind of like the flux capacitor in the Back to the Future movie thing. Well, this is the same thing, but it's more symbolic, more metaphorical, more less tangible, and so the way I was thinking was that each song, maybe even each note, creates a vortex to a place of emotion, certain emotions, certain memory, certain thoughts, certain feelings. And so when somebody is writing a song or constructing a paper or a video or something, they are designing these pathways to this certain vortex. So we'll give an example. For instance, let's say I write a song. I put certain notes together and certain words together, and then I lay it down and I record it. Once I record it, it's like I've made this key, like a blacksmith hammering something down, or like a key guy sawing a little key. And when somebody listens to it, it's like inserting it and turning the key. Now, if you feel an emotional connection with the song, or if the song makes you feel some kind of feeling, like if it gets you relaxed, or it gets you hyper, or it gets you pissed, or whatever, that key unlocked the door to that realm, so to speak, that vortex, that pathway. And that was my latest thought. I kind of liked that. I liked, because it gave me kind of a tangible, it gave me a trade, so to speak. Like I mentioned blacksmith earlier, people that do something, and that something has a purpose in somebody else's life. It's meaningful. It gives meaning. And I've always said, and since like 2007, that the meaning of life is to find meaning in life. Like you have to attach meaning to it. That's why That's how religions are created, and that's why scientists study. And and what's funny is that they try to separate themselves like on opposite ends of spectrums, like the religion versus the science, but they're exactly the same, which is the irony of it when you realize it. They both want the same thing, and they want meaning. Everybody wants meaning, and this was helping me to find it. This scenario of me being a key maker and helping people get to certain emotions or whatever, and I thought that was really cool. And then the next day I got an awesome comment. Thank you Margarita Cavazos, that was awesome. And then I saw this awesome quote by Joseph Campbell. I'll have to find it and put up a link to it on this video. I can't even remember what it said, but it was about the same thing. It was about the purpose of art, or what art does for people. I think it said something like art carries on where speech cannot, or something like that. Something like that. But anyways, so talked about keys to emotions, about vortexes, and about the actual connection itself. How could I think of something and then the next day I get a comment or a post, and then I see somebody else's post that was that quote on the Joseph Campbell page or whatever, and it ties into the whole spiritual reality of life, the intangible, the unexplainable, the mystical. I love it. Lately I've been getting really into believing that what I believe is true, and I said it a long time ago to RD and Carl one time. I said, I think whatever you believe is what happens after you die. That's actually what happens. Some people believe they're going to be sitting on puffy little clouds or whatever, then what dreams may come. That's a good example of it, and that's an artistic expression of, or an artistic interpretation of the afterlife, and I think it's beautiful, because I feel that the human will, which is also called faith, governs the universe, and many people have said that. They say get right. I guess one of the things that I've been thinking about lately is what are they called? I can't even think of that. Fractals. Everything is like a copy of itself over and over. The human cell, tissue, the organ, the system, the body, the environment, the planet, the stars, the solar system, the cosmos. It's just copies of itself over and over, and the action of yourself affects above and below. It affects both areas, because you are part of other things' environment. So environment affects everything, and you're part of the environment, so you're affecting the environment beyond you and before you as well. So the ground you're standing on and the air you're breathing is affected by you, and vice versa. We're all interconnected, and there's nothing else. There's nothing more, and there doesn't need to be anything more. Once you realize that. And another thing, another subject I wanted to get on was the other day I was in the kitchen. I was talking with Nicole, and sorry, I do that to check if it's still recording, because this camera doesn't have the flip screen where I can see if it's recording or not, and it might run out of batteries or memory, so I have to check that every once in a while, so I might swing it around in the middle of a conversation. So the other day I'm having a conversation with Nicole, and I start telling her, I'm sorry babe, but I'm different now. It's taken me almost 34 years to realize that for the last 20 years.
Yeah, you're spitting on me.
Sorry, son. Didn't mean to. Spitting on my son. That was an accident. He got a really bad sunburn this weekend. Say hi, Thomas.
Hi.
Spit doesn't help? Huh? No?
No.
Okay.
I think it just makes it worse.
Okay, I'll try not to spit when I talk anymore, okay?
Alright, thanks.
No problem. So, we were talking, I was like, of changing. What I'm referencing in that conversation is that I no longer give my music away for free online. I've done it for years. For years and years and years, I've given my music away online. MP3s. In fact, I even teamed up with some people. I teamed up with Justin Mackie. He had Tree Ship Records, and we did the Hope website, the GimmeSound.com/Hope. That's still there. It's still there. It hasn't gone away. I mean, there's all these songs, and all you had to do was download them for free, and money would still go to charity. And you know, various other benefits or whatever. And I'll still do benefits or whatever. That's not a big deal. But it's almost like I didn't want to make money. Like I felt like money was gonna corrupt it.
Dad.
What?
Little farting.
Gross. I had this idea implanted in my head that money touching something would corrupt it. Okay, and I had this hippie thought implanted in my head for ages. You know, forever. I was so scared of money. I was afraid of it, and I didn't want to get any money. I didn't want to get any, just, you know, my 9-to-5 job and pay the bills, and that's it, you know, and you know, as long as we're okay. But then I start thinking about, you know, how am I going to help people? You know, this is what happened in the conversation was, we were in a conversation in the kitchen, and then Nicole said, you know when I noticed you changed? And I said, when? And she said, the Zeitgeist movement. And I don't know if any of you all follow the Zeitgeist movement or know anything about the Zeitgeist movement, but the Zeitgeist movement was started by Peter Joseph, based on the Venus Project by Jacques Fresco, and they talk about this thing called the resource-based economy, where we can live in harmony with the planet, following the scientific method, and not making anything that would go to waste. And it's a beautiful idea. And so you would think that movie would have had the opposite effect on me. But what happened was, I was already a hippie, and I didn't like money, and I didn't want to have anything to do with money. And then I saw this video, and this video taught me everything about socioeconomics and the monetary system. And what it did for me was, it taught me the rules of the game. It showed me exactly how corporations function in our society, how governments function, and how money rules everything, and how you know, the cyclical consumption system that we're in now creates poverty and abundance, or you know, supply and demand and all that stuff. And then I realized that, you know, it's okay to play when you know it's just a game. And I suck at Monopoly because I never even bothered to read the rules. So yeah, I hated money because I didn't know how money worked. I didn't know what it was. But now that I learned it from the Zeitgeist movement, the movies, Addendum and Part 3. And Part 3 was really the nail on the coffin, because they explain everything to you, and then at the very, very end, they show this animation of, you know, what could happen when the system falls. Basically, they hype you up, they get you ready, and get your mind to think that, you know, this system is going to fail, and then they draw a cartoon at the end that says, oh well, you know, we'll be waiting. And that's what did it for me. Like, that's really what made me stop going to the meetings and stuff, is because once you learn it, I mean, there's a zenith to that, because they're not actually doing it. And in our society, you cannot actually do that unless you have money. Okay, that's the point that I'm getting to right now. Okay, yeah, I want to build a self-sustained farm or ranch, for my kids, for my family, for my friends. I want to teach people that you can share food with your neighbor, and as long as you take care of the person next to you, that everything's going to be okay. I want to teach them that, but could I teach them that from where I was, giving away music? Yeah, sure, everybody thought, oh, that's so noble, but at the same time, they're going off to buy music from, iTunes or whatever. Oh, yeah, you're so noble, you're giving your music away. I'm going to turn away and I'm going to watch this video over here, or I'm going to this store and I'm going to buy this, or I'm going to, carry this cell phone around. Like, everybody was playing the game except me. I was the fool. Led to think that, oh, I could be the good guy, the noble guy, and it was a good act, and oh, how noble of you, musician, to give away your music. But then I had all these friends that were like, no, dude, it's okay to make money. Everybody else is making money off of you. When you go play at the clubs, the bar owners are making money from everybody that's, buying beer or whatever. And so, yeah, it's taken a lot for me, and it's been a lot of back and forth in my head, obviously, because for 20 years I thought something else. But, I have to set an example for my children where I can still share what needs to be shared, but I'm not going to get duped. I'm not going to let them watch other people make money and me not take the opportunity to give them a better life or better opportunities. We all know that money buys everything: politicians, schools, education. So if I want to teach my kids that I want to give them the best education, then I better be doing my best at trying to get that for them. I want the best things for them, and it's not just things, it's things up here, but there's got to be a balance.
Wow.
And because in this society, you have to be a part of it. Now, it doesn't have to be the way it is everywhere else in Washington. You start in small circles, and I've always said small circles. You make little societies, little governments, local, and you. That's what friend circles are: friendships and poker games and club nights. It's these little societies. You hang around with people that you like and are likened to, have common interests, and that's how you do it. Now, we just got to keep doing that and realize that violence is not the answer. So, I mean, that's another subject. We'll save that for something else. But for now, I think I just wanted to explain why my switch happened, and when it happened, and also about the keys. So now I'm a key maker. I make keys. My songs are keys, and if they unlock doors to realms, to vortexes, to emotions, make you feel a certain way, then that's my gift to you. And in return, if you could, purchase one for $1, that'd be awesome. Or buy a t-shirt. T-shirts are just cool. T-shirts are awesome. And we made a badass t-shirt. That one with the piano logo, that shirt is awesome, dude. You gotta buy that freaking shirt. Come on. You're gonna go to Walmart and buy one. And those are made by, slave kids somewhere. And I won't get any of that money. And these shirts could be made by some slave kid somewhere, but some of the money's gonna go to me. I can't stop the slave trade by not purchasing a shirt that's made by slaves. That's from corporations up above. They need to bring the factories back to the U.S. I can't do that. I don't have a textile factory. Okay? I don't have the means for a textile factory. But you know what? If you bought enough shirts, then I would have the means to make a textile factory right here in the valley. and say, hey, I'm gonna purchase this textile factory. We're gonna make the shirts right here. What's up?
I can make sure everything is still recording and nothing is out of battery and everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you. Good. Thanks.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it sounds. I don't know how it sounds to you, and I don't know how it's gonna sound. I don't know if it's gonna make any sense to you, but this is what's making sense to me right now, and I would like y'all's help. You know, and all I'm asking you to do is spread a link. If you don't buy a t-shirt, spread a link to somebody you know who buys t-shirts or buys music online. You know people who buy music online, send them a link. You know, hook them up with my Facebook page, my YouTube page, something. Alright? And you're like, oh, este vato, he just wants money now. No, dude. I've been giving away music forever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I got a job, and I have 2 kids, and Nicole's going to school. We're trying to make it. We're playing the game just like everybody else, all right? And this is how I'm playing now. I'm being completely honest with you. No BS. Just I'm being honest with you. This is it. This is the game. This is trying to be a functioning member of society, and that's it. So YouTube.com/rayperez, Facebook.com/Juan R. Perez Jr., ReverbNation.com/rayperez. Thanks. Peace. Say bye.
Bye. No. Say hi and then bye.